My memo tonight is about priorities. I mean our priorities as a country. I'll start by mentioning two names, Esther Tanui and Wangechi Mwangi. These are two women who died from cancer shortly after being interviewed for a documentary that recently aired on Citizen Television, Cancer Country. The two ladies were among several Kenyans whose heartbreaking stories touched and saddened many, with a lot questioning why a government would sit back and watch its people suffer so much. Most of those featured in the documentary by our own Tau struggled financially to pay for treatment, while others were diagnosed when the cancer was at an advanced stage. Questions about the ability of doctors to diagnose the disease early and provide the right medication were also raised, with most patients citing instances of unqualified medical practitioners handling cancer cases. For instance, a biopsy is one of the surest ways of diagnosing cancer and involves removing tissue from the body for examination, a procedure that should be done by an experienced doctor. However, it seems that in some of our local hospitals, biopsies are done by less qualified medical personnel. This can only mean disaster for tens of thousands of Kenyans reeling under the heavy burden of cancer. And once the results of the biopsy are in, some doctors are simply unable to make a diagnosis. Patients are then sent to referral hospitals, but even then, several of them just do not have the money to make the long journey. And when they are finally able to raise the money, time has passed and the disease has eaten away their frail bodies, sometimes irreversibly. Another issue of concern is the number of oncologists in the country. For a population of over 45 million, 30 oncologists are just not enough. That surely should be an issue of great concern. Many doctors say that the training is expensive and only available abroad. Most cannot afford the requisite fees. Certain statistics show that there are 37,000 new cases of cancer in Kenya each year, with 28,000 people dying from the disease. This is unacceptable at a time when the government is launching major projects whose viability remains in doubt. The government recently launched the much talked about Nairobi Expressway, a 4-lane dual carriageway that will cost over 60 billion shillings from the JKIA to the western part of the city. I talk about the expressway because it is the most recent one. It makes me wonder what a huge difference 60 billion shillings would make in the fight against cancer for those battling the disease, their relatives, and those in the early stages. Cancer screening and early diagnosis can save lives. Trained doctors and oncologists, and of course, the availability of equipment and medication would also go a long way in taming this crisis. In short, 60 billion shillings can save lives, many lives, especially for those who are poor and living with the disease. No one says roads are not important, but what is a road if people who could use it are either dead or are wasting away with diseases that could easily have been managed early on? I've said this before, and I say it again. The government should first concentrate on one and only one agenda: universal health care. For as Thomas Jefferson once said, the care of human life and not its destruction is the first and only legitimate object of good government. That's my memo.